Max, if I could start with you, I mean, what is it about Goldman Sachs? How does it manage to turn the figures around like that?
Well, Goldman Sachs are scum. I mean, that's the bottom line. They basically have co-opted the U.S. government. They've co-opted the Treasury Department, the Federal Reserve functionality. They've co-opted the Obama administration. Barack Obama, dances to Goldman Sachs' tune, and they are really crooked and abominable in what they've done. You just remember Hank Paulson held Congress hostage, took him in the back room and said, give us $700 billion. We're going to crash this market. He's an arsonist. He's an outlaw, and yet he's given praise.
Ex-Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson, who was CEO at Goldman Sachs.
Sure, but if you go down the list, they're all Goldman Sachs scum. Whether it's Hank Paulson, whether it's Geithner has very close ties to Goldman Sachs, and of course, all these banking bonuses are paid out to all their cronies who are Goldman Sachs scum. And America, for some reason, has allowed this coup d'etat to take place, a silent coup d'etat, where the Goldman Sachs and their friends now control the U.S. government, and they are manipulating prices. Okay.
Massive default is best way to fix the economy. This is a commentary from Brett Ahrens. And he's saying that default, Chapter 11, massive default across the entire U.S. is the way to fix the economy. He said because it isn't too much government or too little government that has caused their problem. It isn't red tape, high taxes, low taxes, the growing divide between the rich and poor, too much government debt, too little government debt, corporations, poor people, greed, socialism, China, Greece, or the legalization of gay marriage. In short, it's debt, too much debt. There's $13.3 trillion in consumer debt, and you've got to get rid of it.
Well, that's true. They've simply created more debt than they will ever be able to pay, and there will be some kind of structural default, a reorganization, a Bretton Woods-type agreement, where the world's currencies are recalibrated, and the U.S. dollar will be devalued by at least 50%. We are in a war. That's for sure. That's why I don't understand all this equivocating and quibbling about the pro-Keynesians, the anti-Keynesians, the monetary stimulus crowd, the bailout crowd. If you're in a foxhole and you're getting shot at by financial terrorists, you need to fire back because it's a war. Vince Cable is correct. There are casualties of this war. The impoverishment, the homelessness, the poverty. People don't understand it. They're in a war and they're losing. This is not a situation where they are borrowing money because that would imply that there is a bank somewhere with money to lend, which is false. There is the global lending facilities that are controlled by the banking oligarchs who issue debt-based units of fraud, and they do not require banks to have any of minimum asset or collateral value, and the result is this global Ponzi scheme where interest rates must be kept at zero. So who's subsidizing this for real?
Yes, but they created many of these empty boxes. They then bet against their own clients to whom they sold these empty boxes. They coerced the federal government to get rid of their main competitors in Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns who were selling these empty boxes. They co-opted foreign banks who owned these empty boxes who went through tremendous pain and suffering. And they are also now caught in front-running every single trade on the New York Stock Exchange with this high-frequency trading scandal. They're literally stealing $100 million a day. Goldman Sachs is stealing every day on the floor of the exchange. They should be in The Hague. They should be taken up on financial terrorism charges, and they should all be thrown in jail. They're scum. Goldman Sachs is stealing every day on the floor of the exchange. They should be in The Hague. They should be taken up on financial terrorism charges, and they should all be thrown in jail. They're scum.
And you know, last week we covered Alessio Rastani, who broke through the matrix, broke through the mainstream media, and caused an uproar when he said that Goldman Sachs rules the world. Well, he was invited onto ITV News, and he was there this week, and here's a video of him where he's asked. First they show this little clip where he says Goldman Sachs rules the world. The audience booed him, and then this is what he says.
If you're thinking that your government's out there, hey, Mr. Cameron, Mr. Obama out there is in control, guess what? They're nothing more than slaves to the capitalist gangbang. And that sounds kind of a leftist thing to say, but guess what? That is true.
Yeah, this is fascinating that this Rastani guy on the BBC and British television is simply stating some simple truths about the banking industry, and it's become suddenly a cause celeb, like, oh my gosh, what do we do about these rogue bankers, these banking terrorists? and as if it's something new. But of course, it's the reason why David Cameron is finding it very difficult to manage that country's affairs, along with George Osborne, is because it's been infiltrated by banking terrorists in the city who support him, and he's simply there as a suppository salesman trying to shove up the schwing of the British people lies concocted by the banking industry.
And you know there's this building war, this global insurrection against banker occupation, the 99% against the 1%. So here's the 1% responding. Headline reads, Chicago Board of Trade taunts Occupy Chicago, we are the 1%. You know, the Occupy Wall Street spread to Chicago, and you see this photo here, Max. This is from the Chicago Board of Trade, and they put up posters inside saying, we are the 1%.
Well, Chicago Board of Options, Stacey Herbert, of course, is the site of listed options back in the 1970s, the beginning of derivatives, as that term is understood today. And these are kind of the ground zero of financial terrorists. The Chicago School of Economics is there. This is where Obama came from, and Milton Friedman, the neoliberal school. And these fellows should not be so cocky, because the mob is beginning to circle, I can say, maybe in those terms. In other words, it's not as if these people can simply disappear once they punch the clock and leave the Chicago Board of Options Exchange. I mean, they're living, breathing human beings. For how long? It's no secret that corporations in the U.S. like Coca-Cola, of course, created the Nazi beverage Fanta, orange Fanta, which was for Nazis. IBM was responsible for all the calculation of all the serial numbers that was used to tag the prisoners that ended up in the concentration camp. So American J.P. Morgan was playing both sides of the war at that time, just like J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs play both sides of the war today. They're financing the mercenaries and the terrorists in various countries, just like they're financing the bonuses on Wall Street. They're arbitrageurs. They have no sovereignty. They have no country of which they're affiliated with. They're amoral. They're just eunuchs plowing through the cyberspace of money, looking for, you know, like a sloth, looking like a slug, looking for salt. They're just, they're not even human. You know, we said on this show a while ago, the best thing to do about this bankster situation is to hang them. Right, the suicide bankers. You know, I've been warning about this for months. The bankers believe in market fundamentalism, and they blow themselves up. In this case, algorithms. So, or 9/11, they blew themselves up. Wall Street did by financing HSBC, financed the terror attacks on 9/11. That was suicide jihadi bankers committing suicide, and now this Knight Capital is committing suicide using bots. This is their religion. This is their theocracy. It's a jihadi bots that Wall Street sets on itself.
Barclays Libor, L-I-E-Bor, Libor.
Well, I figure, you know, why speak for or about Bob Diamond when we can get Bob Diamond in the studio? So let's get Bob Diamond. He's here to talk about Barclays directly. Hi, I'm Bob Diamond. I run Barclays Bank in the UK. Yeah, I'm as guilty as sin. I am involved in massive fraud with the Libor market, interest rates, manipulation, insider trading. That's me, Bob Diamond. But America has absolutely no intention whatsoever of repaying China that $1 trillion. America will never pay China back that $1 trillion, and they're forcing China to buy more dollars to keep their own currency from rising, thus killing their export market. That's why China is buying lots of this stuff. Gold bullion. They can't get enough of gold bullion. India's buying gold bullion. China's buying gold bullion as a way to hedge themselves against these things. This is Warren Buffett toilet paper. Warren Buffett toilet paper here, the U.S. dollar. It's going to zero. Barack Obama does not begrudge the bonuses for savvy Lloyd Blankfein and Jamie Dimon over there at Goldman Sachs and J.P. Morgan. It goes on to say here that President Barack Obama said he doesn't begrudge the $17 million bonus awarded to J.P. Morgan Chase & Company Chief Executive Officer Jamie Dimon, or the $9 million issued to Goldman Sachs Group Inc. Lloyd Blankfein, noting that some athletes take home more pay. He's equating the banksters to athletes. Barack Obama, have you lost your mind? Let me explain something to you. This is what Goldman Sachs does, okay? This is toilet paper. This is what JP Morgan does. This is toilet paper. All they do is they take toilet paper and they write $1 billion on the toilet paper, and then they give it to each other for a fee. And then JP Morgan will write, oh, here's $1 billion on a piece of toilet paper, and they give it back to Goldman Sachs for a fee. And there's collusion because the rating agencies rate this toilet paper AAA, but there's no value here. That's not the same as a star athlete. These are crooks, these are shysters, these are financial terrorists. And you're letting them totally destroy the American economy, Barack Obama.